Hey folks, how's it going? This is Mr. Murray coming to you with a little do now video for Course 1 CP. This video is for Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. Just a quick reminder, we do have our weekly Hangouts coming up tomorrow afternoon, so please make sure you check the class Google Doc. You can get to the class Google Doc if you don't have it bookmarked by going to we.willnot.fail. Okay, so if you haven't done that, please do me a big favor now and check out that stuff because it's really important. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to please make sure in this activity that we do a couple things. One, for the first one, we want to convert to standard form. I'm turning up the heat here. This is going to be a kind of harder problem that you'd see on expand.willnot.fail. I want you to take this and use the box to turn it from vertex form to standard form. And then here I want us to convert to intercept form. So this is when we're going the other way. And you can find these problems at factor.willnot.fail. So what I want you to take a moment, pause the video, do these. You can do it. I know you can. And then when you're ready, unpause, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so let's take a look. So first thing we want to do is convert to standard form. Now we're in vertex form. So remember, the first thing we want to do, remember you never distribute into something being squared, because if you do that, you're saying I'm going to multiply before I do the exponents, and you never do that, right? You know exponents always come before multiplication. Sorry if that J is kind of off to the left. It doesn't really have any meaning here. So I've got J squared. J times J is J squared. Negative 7 times J is negative 7J. Negative 7 times J is negative 7J. Negative 7 times negative 7 is positive 49. So I have J squared minus 14J, because remember you have to add these up, plus 49. Now am I done? No, right? Because I've got to, first of all, remember that I've got the negative 2 there. So remember you need to, make sure that you, here we go. Take a moment to distribute that. I'll make sure I charge my tablet after this. Make sure you distribute that negative 2 there. So you be very careful with your signs. Negative 2J squared plus 28J minus 98 plus 6. So you make sure you just distribute it, right? The negative 2 to the J squared, the negative 2 to the 14J, right? The negative 2 to the 49. Last thing you want to do is make sure you do that combining of your like terms. This will always be a number. So you're just going to combine these two numbers. Okay, minus 92. We'll leave it like that for now. I mean, this is standard form as far as I can see. We got our ARBRC. Everything's nicely distributed. You can see there's a greatest common factor in here, and we can talk about how to work with stuff like that in the future. But that's basically what we're looking like for something like this. Okay, so we're using the box to do, remember, the exponent, then multiplication, the distribution, then addition. Remember, sometimes it'll be a number in front of there, and sometimes there won't, or it'll be 1. Okay, so you just gotta kind of play it by ear and just take it one step at a time, and you can do it. All right. Okay, next one we want to convert to intercept form. So intercept form, remember, we want to go the other way here. So we're going to start with our box on there, set up our box, and then we know we've got a C squared and a negative 72. So remember, to get C, there's only one way to get that, and it's got to be C and C, right? Because C times C is C squared. Now we know we need to multiply to a negative, so that means one number is going to be positive and one negative. The negative number is probably going to be further from 0, and notice there's a difference of only 1 between them. So I need two numbers that are off by 1. And it turns out that what I'm going to be looking for is -9 and +8. See how they're 1 apart? So I get -9c. Now technically you could say, Mr. Moray, they're 17 apart. And I would say, okay, all right, fine. Their absolute values are 1 apart. Okay, how about that? So if I do this, I get c squared minus 1c minus 72. So the answer I would provide would be c minus 9, c minus 8. Rather, sorry, c plus 8. Okay. Last one here, I've got this one right here. So I build my box, set it up, boom, boom. So up top left, 2t squared, bottom right, 5. All right, this one's not so bad because remember, first of all, let's set up, how do I get my t squared? Let's make these t's, right? T times t is t squared. How do I get 2? How do you multiply two whole numbers and get 2? Well, one good way is 2 and 1. And you can either put the 1 there or just leave it as t. I'll take either one. They mean the same thing. The good news with 5 is there's only one way to make 5, and that's also 1 and 5. When I say also, I mean because it's just the number in itself. Now I've got to arrange this so I can somehow get 7. And the way I do that is I put the 5 here and the 1 here, because then this becomes 5t and this becomes 2t. Remember, the trick is that unlike here, right, I just have to, here you just worry about the number itself, the 8 and the -9, right? I don't care about anything but that. Here I now not only have to worry about the numbers, but I down here, right, the like the physical numbers themselves, the constants, but I also have to worry about the fact that one or more of these numbers are going to be getting multiplied by, you know, the number out there. So, you know, if it's 1, that's fine, whatever, I don't care, fine, I'm good to go. But if it's not, I have to take that into consideration. Okay, so what we end up with is 2t plus 5t plus 1. Okay, so it's kind of just like a big puzzle, but again, if you stay persistent at it and you just keep working at it and you stay positive, it's something that you can really master and really kind of thrive at. And if you're in a position where you have to do division with this thing next year, you have a tool that will really help you with a lot of stuff. I'm telling you. So maybe your teacher will use this next year. I'll tell you, I'll continue to use the box. Please just make sure you have a strategy for doing problems like these that work for you. Another quick strategy that sometimes people do is they do what's called factoring by grouping. And what they do is they say, well, how could I break this 7 up so it's a little bit easier? Well, what I notice is that 2t, well, if only I could break that. I don't like that 2. I wish I could make that 2 go away. So what if I could just break the 7t up as 2t and 5t? Because notice how 2t plus 5t equals 7t. So I'm just going to rewrite it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this. So notice how these have a 2 in common and a t in common. So you can do things like factoring out common things. And then these have a 5 in common. So you get 2t plus 5, t plus 1. This is a strategy called factoring by grouping that can also get you the correct answer, and which we will also discuss next year. Any problem that you can solve by the box method, as far as I know, you can solve with factoring by grouping. Similar to the box method, you do have to be able to use some pattern hunting there. But all I want you to be able to walk out of this with is a surefire strategy so that I can give you any quadratic and you can factor it 100% correct. Alright, so hopefully you got this right. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Best of luck, and I'll see you next.